What's going on, everybody? Good late morning. It's time for the rooting guide, and honestly, things are getting pretty binary at this point, right? Like we know what we want, we know what we need. Most of this stuff is going to be pretty obvious to anybody who's paying attention. I get it. There are a couple things that I think are worth drilling into a little bit, but realistically, if you are a fan of this team, you know what we need. You know what we want, and we're all pretty unified in that, I think. So I'm gonna go through it. Some of it's gonna be very obvious. Some of it maybe you weren't really thinking about, but at this point, it's possible that a very unlikely and very narrow path ends up making the difference. So I don't want to discount any element of this here. Um, the stream of the Hawk's Nest starts in about an hour, by the way, noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern. So be there or catch the VOD later. But me and him are going to talk about the Packers game and the upcoming Vikings game. All right. So let's drill down here, starting with tonight's game. We got a Thursday night game in the form of Broncos Chargers. Pretty obvious here, pretty clear. The Broncos are a team that we played this year that no other team in the division played. So it boosts the Seahawks' strength of schedule for the Broncos to bank wins. So we want them to win. Also remember that the Cardinals played the Chargers. So if the Chargers lose, it drags the Cardinals' strength of schedule down a little bit. So yeah, there's really not much else to say about this game other than that. So we want the Broncos to go up and we want the Chargers to go down. So that's tonight. Saturday, Texans, Chiefs. Not really much going on here. The Niners played the Chiefs. So I guess we could maybe want the Chiefs to lose because of the Niners' strength of schedule, but I'm not worried about the Niners anymore. What the Niners are going to need to win the division is so unlikely. I can't even trip. So I'm not even going to worry about that. So we'll root for whatever, root for whoever. It doesn't matter. And the other Saturday game, we got Steelers, Ravens. I don't have much here, man. I'm trying to think of some angle here. I think this one might be completely dry. I don't think any NFC West teams played either of these teams. I'm not really thinking that hard about the wild card situation, like Tampa Bay. Maybe Tampa Bay played Baltimore this year. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but I guess if you want to drill down that far, we want the Ravens to lose because of that, but you are drilling down very far, and for reasons I've already laid out, the wild card is just so unlikely. I don't think it's worth hoping. So, yeah, I'm going to say whatever, root for whatever you want. If you really want to force yourself to find something, I'd say the Steelers to win because of the Ravens playing the Buccaneers, but don't worry about it too much. We got enough to worry about. All right, we're going to Sunday here. Giants, Falcons. I guess like this whole time I've been saying I want the Falcons to keep winning so they can win the division. That way we can we can own the tiebreaker with them. But I think that I think we got to kind of throw that out the window now. And we got to look at it more like we we need NFC teams to go away. And while it's a futile effort this week, I mean, my God, they're playing the Giants at home. It's a complete waste of time to even hope. I guess we actually want Atlanta to just lose now so they can get out of the picture. Um, Maybe you would still want Atlanta to win so that way if we end up in some kind of tie with them for a wild card because teams like Tampa Bay and Washington just completely fell on their faces, that would work out well for us because we own the tiebreaker on them no matter what. But man, it's just getting tough to see that tiebreaker meaning anything. I mean, Atlanta benched their quarterback this week because they've been so lifeless lately. So, even they know that it's a pipe dream for them to actually make the postseason. But that one's debatable. We played both teams, by the way, so there's no strength of schedule boost. I guess, you know what? You know what? Let's. I'm going to say we want Atlanta to win. I think we want Atlanta to win. You could talk me into the other scenario, but let's go with it. Lions, Bears, really nothing going on here. We play both teams. I believe that the teams in this division all play both teams. Tampa Bay played Detroit. But again, we're drilling down so far here. And Washington played the Bears. So even that cancels out. So root for whatever, honestly. I don't think it makes a difference. Lions are obviously making the playoffs. The Bears are eliminated, so it's not like there's anything going on there. Browns, Bengals. That's another one. I guess the Bengals. Well, no, the Bengals played both. I'm sorry. I guess the Commanders played both teams. Excuse me. I meant the Commanders there. So I don't think you gain anything if one team loses and the other wins. So I got nothing. So root for whatever. Titans Colts, kind of the same thing here. Another AFC on AFC matchup. I don't think either team played anybody that we really care about. I don't think that either team played anybody in the division. I'm pretty sure. So nothing. And if there is something here, it's so thin, it's not really worth thinking about that much. So I'm going to pass on that one. This one, however, there's no passing. This one's pretty obvious. I don't think I need to dictate it, but just in case I will. If the Jets want to make life a little bit easier for these Seahawks by pulling off a big upset, well, not that big, but an upset, that'd be great. I'm not holding my breath on it, of course. I mean, we've seen enough evidence that this Jets team is just, I mean, they're bad. I know they're talented, and I know people keep waiting for that talent to do something, but I don't see any point in sitting here hoping for some upset when we have copious amounts of evidence that that Jets team just wants the season to be over. So I'm not hopeful, but we could really use a Jets win just to give us a little bit of margin for error in the afternoon window when we play our game. Eagles, Commanders, again, it's super unlikely that this pans out in our favor, but it's pretty obvious what we want here. We want the Commanders to lose as many games as possible, I think. So we're rooting for the Eagles big time here. We need the Commanders to go away. And the only way they're going to go away, if you take a look at the way the tiebreakers pan out, is if they lose out. They're capable of it, but I mean, it starts here. And we're probably going to get what we want here, admittedly, right? I think the Commanders are going to get blown out. But will it matter for the other games? So may as well. There's no benefit to Philadelphia losing games. So they can win out, I think, for all we care. Cardinals, Panthers. Little delicate here. If the Cardinals lose, they're basically done. We can cross them off. So that'd be nice. But we also don't want them to be dispirited when they play the Rams next week. We want the Cardinals to beat the Rams. So we're kind of walking a little bit of a tightrope here, right? If the Cardinals win out, they are at least eligible to win the division. And as we've been over, they win the three-way tiebreaker with Seattle and LA. If it comes to that, in most likely scenarios. So we want them to win this game, beat the Rams, and then lose to the Niners in the last week. So you're playing with fire a little bit here. And it is worth noting that just because this loss would cripple them does not mean they wouldn't try against the Rams next week. Sometimes teams that are eliminated feel liberated. And they go out there and actually play better than you would have expected. So I don't know if it's entirely fair to say that we need them to win because otherwise they'll lay down and roll over against the Rams next week. But I would assume they give a little something better if they have something to play for. So we got to walk the tightrope here, I think. I'm going to say we want Arizona to win. And then we want them to beat the Rams and lose to the Niners week 18. Or we need the Rams to not get to 10 wins so that three-way tiebreaker scenario doesn't come up. So it's tight. but I think that's probably the best. Moving on to the afternoon, Patriots, Bills. We played both teams. I think every team in this division played both teams. Nothing going on here, so root for whatever. I don't think it makes any difference. Jaguars, Raiders, a true toilet bowl. Let me think here. The Raiders. Let me see here. The Raiders played the Rams this year. So I guess we want them to lose to depress the Rams' strength of schedule a little bit. That's it. Yeah, that's it. It's something though. It's something. It might matter. It really has a chance of mattering, even if it's a remote chance. So let's go with it. Niners, Dolphins. I guess at this point we don't really have any incentive to root against the Niners anymore. I think at this point we can kind of look at this and go, okay, we want the Niners to win to hurt their draft pick. Right? We want the Niners to win to hurt their draft pick. It doesn't really matter for strength of schedule stuff. Everybody in the NFC West played the Dolphins, and everyone other than the Niners played the Niners twice. But looking at this Niners-Dolphins game, I'm just not worried about the 49ers getting their miracle. And if they do, then that means the other teams in the division really, really messed up to the point where I almost couldn't be that mad about it. So, honestly, I think we just want the Niners to win. I think we want the Niners to win, mess up that draft pick a little bit. It's not really going to make a difference. Okay. We got some primetime games. We got this Sunday night football game, Buccaneers at Cowboys. Hoo boy. It seems like a waste of time and effort for us to root for Tampa Bay to lose because of the nature of their remaining schedule. But I guess we may as well. Like Dallas, the best they can do is 9 wins. I'm not worried about that. Like 9 wins getting a wild card is so incredibly unlikely. It might even be impossible at this point. If not, it may as well be. So it's not like Dallas winning hurts us anymore. And Tampa Bay, yeah, we need them to really lay down if we're going to open up that back door to the 7 seed. So I guess we can afford Tampa Bay to win one more game. Hopefully it's not this one, because Dallas is actually playing fairly well lately. This is going to be one of their biggest remaining challenges. Like, I think they play the Saints with their backup quarterback, and then I think they still have one more game against the Panthers. So may as well root for Tampa Bay to go down. And then we got Monday Night Football, Saints Packers. I don't think this one means anything anymore. We lost to the Packers, so we blew the tiebreaker, and we're not probably going to catch them anyway. But even if we did, it wouldn't be enough. And I'm not even really thinking about that anymore, right? Like, if we catch Green Bay, that means we're a wild card team, even if we only get close. So I'm not going to trip too much about the 7 versus the 6. And the Saints, I mean, they're not a threat. They're not any kind of a wild card threat. Maybe they're a division threat, but probably not. Not anymore. But yeah, I don't think there's any incentive here really. We played the Packers, but so did everybody else in the division. I guess we want the Saints to lose, so it hurts the strength of schedule for Tampa and Atlanta. Okay, I'll go with that. Let's say we want the Saints to lose just for that. I don't think we need to root for the Saints to lose for them to lose, though. All right. Hopefully I untangled something in there. Hopefully I uncovered something that you weren't thinking about, but it's getting pretty binary at this point. All right. See you guys later. Go Hawks. That's the rooting guide as near as I can tell this week.